Welcome to OnlyBimmers with the first driving test of the BMW 5 Series S 545e, the new plug-in hybrid 6-cylinder petrol engine mated to an electric motor. We will drive a prototype vehicle, but it will be quite final. Very interesting driving impressions to come. There is also an extensive review of the BMW 5 Series facelift here, exterior and interior. It will be linked in the video description and in the pinned comment. You can also tune in to that later on. Now, let's start with the driving. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the BMW 5 Series facelift. Here today also with the 545e, 6-cylinder petrol engine together with the electric motor. And let me show you an acceleration sports mode. So both powers combined, combustion and plus electric drive. So that was already 50 to 100 kilometers an hour. Pretty impressive. So wow. Really good performance. The 0 to 100 kilometers or 0 to 60 miles figure would be 4.7 seconds. So that's a second slower than an M550i. Almost 400 horsepower and 600 newton meters of torque for this 6-cylinder plug-in hybrid. So very, very decent. And yeah, you can really drive in a very sporty way, no problem. Other than that, most of the time you will leave it in the hybrid mode. Soon going through all details. First of all, in general, about the 5 Series facelift for all the models. Once again, driving has not changed that much. It's a very sovereign feeling. The car sits so calm and good on the road. The noise insulation is superb. It's very silent in here, and you got a natural driving feeling here. Every single half degree angle is, you do feel everything. There's no dead zone area. A very natural experience, a nice sporty experience, yet again not too heavy to control while driving. You also see the new turning indicators in the car in front of us. You've probably seen that these are still prototype vehicles, but they are, let's say, quite final. There's nothing much that has been changed in there. They just have like a light camo, so the logos are camouflage, but come on, everyone sees that's a 5 Series. Not sure what this light camouflage is still, supposed to be. I don't know. Here again, when going left and right, this car feels smaller than it actually is, because also this vehicle here, this very one, has the option of the integral active steering. Means that BMW, the rear axle steering, 3 degrees in the opposite direction from the rear axle than the front axle. And this gives us so much more agility at lower speeds, and also when easing in and out the basement garage, for example. This is so much easier. So this is an option. It's not cheap, no, but it is really an option you should go for, because it makes easing this, full-size vehicle around so much easier. So that's a very, very good option. Just love driving with that. It fakes a shorter wheelbase, so to speak, and you really feel that it's very, very notable. And they introduced it also with the facelift now, that you can get it for all engine variants besides the M5. That's the only one. It would be possible, but they really decided against it intentionally. That's not M philosophy. They say, yeah, I think it's a wrong decision. They should still offer it. But it will not be such a thing for them, for most 5 Series customers. So an M550i with all-wheel steering, or like with rear axle steering, would still be a great choice, definitely. And also for the plug-in hybrids here, this is available. So when the battery is depleted, by the way, you drive it like the normal 6-cylinder petrol engine, which would be a great choice. So a 540i. Maybe Jonas holds the walk-in and doesn't flopple around. Thank you. It's always good to have a co-driver with me. Yes, I always use the term co-driver. Ready speech. That's here.
Next right.
Next right. Thank you so much. Yeah, and you went like 2 left, then 3 right, and caution, don't cut. Yeah, we all know it from Colin McRae, really, definitely. So now at 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour, again so silent, although it's so rainy today outside, and then you have more rolling noise from the tires and also the drops on the windscreen and so on. But still, such a sovereign feeling with this car. It's just superb in the riding. And also the new perforated SensorTech seats, we're driving on them at the moment. They are really awesome. So yeah, before I could say visually wise, one of the best, or maybe the best leatherette seat ever, being, you know, anywhere in the whole automotive industry. I can just confirm that here it is so soft and plush, yet again you have the perforation that it's a little bit more breathable. So and not even from leatherette seats, you know, also if you compare it to other old school animal skin seats, this is here really superior. So yeah, I'm absolutely flashed by these seats indeed. So really great job that we finally get these offerings also in high luxury sedans. Really, really cool. Sedan versus touring, by the way, won't matter that much in the difference. This will drive more or less the same. Now specifics here to the plug-in hybrid. First of all, will it play a massive role if you have the 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder plug-in hybrid version? Again, 6-cylinder plug-in hybrid so far not planned for the US. Well, the main difference will of course be when the battery is depleted or when you need like the maximum performance. Other than that, when you're mainly driving in the electric mode, it won't matter that much. So then the 530e will also just be fine, and you can get it in the US as sedan, and in Europe you can get it as sedan and touring. Once again, this here at this moment, just in the sedan and not in US. Yeah, strange decision, but sometimes those market decisions are not very logical. I don't know. So the cool thing is really here, as long as we still have enough power left in that battery, such a flawless driving feeling. It really fits to the vehicle. I mean, we all know the performance versions of the 5 Series, presented that to you in Autogefuehl. It's really a lot of fun. But here, this silent driving in the 5 Series, it fits perfectly. So if this car would be all electric, I wouldn't mind either, you know? So you have it super, super silent, it's smooth, the electric acceleration. And here in the instruments, you can also very well see that. I think it's well done. Here now with the blue background in the hybrid mode, normal hybrid mode you start in. When you lift the throttle, then you are in the charging or recuperation stage. You can see that in the digital gauge. And then there's like a blue area here. And as long as I stay in the blue area, I know I'm driving all electric. And the range here, we get about 11 kilometers left, 31 kilometers driven. So yeah, something between 40 and 50 kilometers and something 30 miles of pure electric is indeed realistic with this new battery, a little bit more capacity. Here now, also according to the GPS data, it works even well when you have a GPS route set, even better. Here, for example, the car knows, oh, this is like a countryside route. We're driving a little bit faster now, so I'll rather set everything on the combustion engine. Now we're driving on the combustion engine. The transition between pure electric drive and combustion engine, really flawless. You hardly feel that at all. And when we're getting into the city, they also program now those E-zones for the cities that you're predominantly driving pure electric inside city centers. I think an interesting idea. And also it's switching back and forth. Here now, for example, we're going down a little bit, then going into the charge mode, recuperating once again. Or for example, when I have the throttle like just slightly, exactly at 0 here in these right gauges, then I'm just sailing or coasting. And I can also stress this effect because there's the hybrid mode and there's the hybrid Eco Pro mode. And the difference is, in the hybrid mode, I more have recuperation when I go off the throttle. And in the hybrid Eco Pro mode, I rather have sailing when I leave the throttle. You know, here this digital arrow says just at 0. You can argue pro and con for that. It depends on how you prefer it. If you rather want a feeling, you know, like a normal combustion engine with little engine brake, so to speak, and then you recuperate more when you hit the brakes, for example. Or if you rather want this new sailing or coasting feeling, it is very efficient to roll, to coast, to sail. Yeah, different, different expressions for that. And at the same time here now the map data, for example, realizes, even though I was in the coasting mode, oh, there will be like a next village entry, speed is being reduced, and then the car automatically goes into the charging stage, recuperation. Again, you know, taking this predictive map information, so this is a very good idea to make this ride even more efficient. Talking about efficiency, by the way, so when we drive all electric, just pure electric, we have a energy consumption of about 20 kilowatt hours on 1 kilometers. This is typical for a big vehicle, also for like a big all-electric vehicle. Before it was 23 kilowatt hours on 1 kilometer, so that yes, it's something like 30 something kilowatt hours on 100 miles, the translation for that. And that's still, yeah, I mean, it's not super efficient, but it's also no wonder because other big pure electric vehicles, for example, have equal energy consumption when we drive in pure electric. At the same time, we haven't used the combustion engine that often, so we had about just over 2 liters on 1 kilometers of fuel economy, which is almost nothing. And if we go to the X-Works stage here, then we can see, like all this time this prototype vehicle has been running, it's about 6 kilowatt hours on 100 kilometers and about 7.3 liters on 100 kilometers, which would be something 30 plus mpg US, 40 plus mpg UK. This is more a mix, you know, so on the long run this vehicle has also been operated not only pure electric but also with depleted battery and, you know, combustion engine running, and it will still be more efficient than the pure combustion engine in most situations, unless you're driving a very, very long cruise control, steady speed mileage, and the battery is depleted. Then the pure combustion engine would be more efficient. But in most other situations, the plug-in hybrid can still play a good role because you can even use this recuperation when the battery is depleted. By the way, there's also the battery safe mode called battery control. You can press it here in the middle console. When you know, oh, there's like a future, like London probably does, an emission zone, you only allowed to drive all electric, then you can charge it here on the countryside road and then drive all electric at your destination. However, that's not efficient. That would be just when it's really like mandatory by law or something. Then there's also the electric mode where you really say, okay, I want to stay all electric, and you're a little bit more in control that you actually do stay all electric. And then here, yeah. So there's like a bigger threshold before the combustion engine hops on, but you've probably already seen and heard that. When I pin it all the way through, then the combustion engine will still be activated for safety reasons. For example, you might be in the all-electric mode and you see, oh, I want to get on this motorway and I need a fast acceleration to enter the motorway in a safe way. I need a little bit more acceleration. You know, that's always why I argue, for example, with your wife or so, yeah, I need the stronger engine version of this car. Just for safety reasons, you know, like when we get to, oh, obviously. That was the voice activation that has also been updated, as we told you earlier, with the 5 Series facelift. Yeah, sometimes it catches maybe, what did I say that was activated? I don't know. So that's our instructor for today here, because we have like in a combined prototype route. And that's also very good because then you have a 5 Series facelift just in front of you here. So to me, it's a lot of fun to drive this 5 Series in the plug-in hybrid version because the electric driving modes are really cool. It adds to the silence here. Then you have the recuperation. You know that not all the energy is being lost. At the same time, when you are maybe on a longer road trip, you still have the possibility just to fuel up the car in a very fast way and, you know, like making 500 kilometers or 300 miles just in one day. And you still have the possibility to do so, even though there's, oh, does it really work with its charging stations and so on. So this car can indeed be a very good solution if you're, for example, commuting to work during the week and then go on a weekend trip for a longer period of time, or like once a week you have to go to like a distant city, but maybe just once a week, and other than that you drive or commute all electric in the city. In Europe, for example, the usual maximum commuting way is about 30 kilometers, like, you know, 15, 20 miles a day maximum. So this would be a good use case then. To me, it's more always about the infrastructure. Do you really have the infrastructure? And if yes, then the plug-in hybrids or then the all-electric vehicles make a lot of sense. So again, facelift driving here with the 5 Series, it's as good as before. The adaptive suspension is one of the best there is. From all suspensions, this is also equipped with this vehicle. You remember, base suspension, adaptive. The Touring also gets the air suspension at the rear axle. But here the air suspension by BMW in their bigger models is so good that you do not miss an air suspension. So it's one of the very rare cases where I say, I'm not even sure if a full air suspension could give me more comfort here, because this adaptive suspension is sporty and comfortable at the same time in a way that you can hardly exceed. We are driving with 19-inch wheels here at the moment. Yes, 20-inch would be possible, even bigger. But 19-inch, already one of the bigger ones, you remember, 17 to 20-inch wheels. So even though those are among the bigger wheels, they're still such a great riding comfort. So bumps in the road are evened out so well. Really, really satisfied with that. And at the same time, it's very sporty. There's no body roll from the car and so on. You also have this adaptive button here. This sets the suspension to the even more adaptive mode in a way. It's always adaptive, yes, but this more sets the car to, when it's realizing you're driving a little bit sportier, then it goes a little bit stiffer, and when it's realizing you're driving a little bit slower and softer, then it's going softer. Yeah, this is combined and also with the hybrid mode here in the plug-in hybrid. You can set it, why not? If you're in the hybrid mode, the usual suspension setting is comfort, and if you are in the sport mode, not only the combustion engine is always on, it's also setting the suspension to a stiffer tone. And steering feedback here, let's compare that. Hybrid sport mode. Yeah, indeed, that's notable. In the hybrid mode here, way softer from the steering, and in the sports mode you have more resistance, so it feels a little bit crisper here from the steering. Very interesting. So I'm overall really impressed. So the first time I'm driving the 5 Series now electrified. There was one before, but I haven't driven it yet. And the 7 Series I've also been driving with the electrified version, and I think it really works very well. This can be a good engine choice for a lot of customers actually, and it really brings more joy. You know, you still have that combustion engine, but this electric driving is really, really joyful. Here at the moment, by the way, again, according to the map data, because we're on the countryside route with 100 kilometers an hour allowed, 60 miles an hour, we're a little bit slow because of the truck here at the moment. But then again, the map data decided, yeah, it's better to have the combustion engine now more efficient, because when you're driving the combustion engine at about 80 kilometers, 100 kilometers, 60 miles in a steady way, then the combustion engines are like in a very ideal state of efficiency, and then it really makes sense. And again, save the electric drive for city stop and go, because in city stop and go, the electric drive makes more sense. Once again, with plug-in hybrid vehicles, you have the discussions, is it the worst or the best of two worlds? And you can argue both ways, and probably both arguments are right. It really depends on the exact route and your personal use case. What is the case, you know, in this case? But in a lot of cases, it really makes sense. And to me, this plug-in hybrid driving, really adds to the overall driving experience. So, general 5 Series facelift, once again flawless, great addition with the SensorTech seats. Rear axis steering, great option definitely. Nice combustion engine choice with both the 6-cylinder and the 6-cylinder petrol. If you go just combustion engine for like most fun, or still a good fun economy relation because they're quite efficient. Even more fun would be the 8-cylinder, but then really less efficient. For economy models, of course, the 4-cylinders, both diesel, petrol available. You can go for that. The 4-cylinder plug-in hybrid will be, a very interesting choice also for, when you get governmental subsidies, want to keep the price a little bit lower, still go for the plug-in hybrid version. This will be a very interesting engine as well. This one here, combining a little bit more this pure 6-cylinder fun with the electric drive, really cool solution, definitely. Yeah, so pretty interesting what I've done here, and you see also design-wise here with the new tail lamps and also the front lamps we've seen before. The changes are not that you see it's like a completely new vehicle, but everything they've done, they've touched here, to me is really a nice step forward. So one of the recent facelifts I'm really very satisfied with. And of course, looking forward to your feedback now. What you're thinking about the hybrid driving experience and about our general facelift driving impressions. To me, it's been like a very interesting ride. What about you? And our final data for our test ride for today, even more than 50 kilometers of pure electric driving for today, so even more than 30 miles, and a combustion engine fuel economy of about 5 liters, here 4.7 liters or more kilometers. But it really varies, you know, it depends on how much you charge and how much you don't. Once again, when you look at these ex-works figures, here for example, where the car has been driving more combustion engine, then the combustion engine consumption is higher, but yet again then the fuel or the energy consumption is lower. So it really depends on they play together, and hopefully in the most economical way, because here for example there's a very low energy consumption for our drive for today, because this is then not only the pure electric driving but the overall energy consumption in an average. And now to our conclusion for today with the new BMW 5 Series facelift. From the exterior, a sleeker design definitely, more playing around also with the light, and especially more modern tail lamps that look quite impressive. Then from the interior changes, big news with the new SensorTech seats, so more breathable material, high grade and definitely more sustainable and more animal friendly. So big step forward here for this top luxury segment, and even also increasing the comfort. In general, the build quality is very high. Also these upgrades then with the infotainment systems, no matter if you stick with the base setup or then with the optional 2x 12.3 inch setup, that's definitely also another step forward, so more infotainment use. And again, also for all the Android Auto users that now can also mirror their smartphone right there. It will also show the way for the upcoming BMW models, which are, you know, also in the pipeline there. Then driving-wise, the BMW 5 Series remains among the best in the segment. It has a very natural driving input, comfortable and sporty at the very same time, no matter in which version. The optional adaptive suspension really does a great job. You do not miss any air suspension for that, because here also at top of the comfort and top of the sportiness at the same time. This is also what makes this car special. Good option when you have the rear exit steering. This makes it easier to ease around in the parking lot, for example, and also gives you some more agility at slower speeds. Interesting drive also today with the plug-in hybrid models. Both will be interesting, the 6-cylinder and the 4-cylinder. If you predominantly drive electric, especially when the city commuting and so on, it won't make such a difference if you're 4 or 6-cylinder. And when you use the combustion engine, it's quite often then when you are on the longer hauls, and then you might go cruise control. And then again, the difference is not so big between 4 and 6-cylinder. So I think if you're not in a market which gets the 6-cylinder plug-in hybrid, it's not too bad. And here the 4-cylinder plug-in hybrid, both available with the sedan and the touring. A touring plug-in hybrid, this will be a very interesting choice for sure. Yet again, the one we've been driving today, the 6-cylinder PHEV, yeah, it's quite a nice vehicle, probably also one of the best combinations right there. Good in performance, and still you have this silent driving feeling for the 5 Series, which really fits to the vehicle. So, very interesting impressions here today. The only thing that always remains, it's again a car that is very high in the price. And the plug-in hybrid won't change that. Unless you get some governmental benefits, then it can really actually also be cheaper to go for the new PHEV versions. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Leave us your comments about the 5 Series facelift. Let's discuss it right there, and see you next time.